Hello there and welcome. In this video, I'm going to show you how you can train a stable diffusion model using Dreambooth, meaning you can provide it with photos of yourself or any other person, and the AI will learn the way this person looks. And then you will be able to use this model to create different images of this person. So basically insert this person into your art. Now, there are many ways to do this, but in this video I'm going to show you a way to do it completely online from any computer. So even if you have a very old GPU, it will work because all of the training will happen on a remote computer. This is possible with this Google Collab. So it's basically a cloud-based space where you run some automatic code provided with some inputs and images, and then when it's done training, you can download the model to your PC and use it as any other model. So first you need to go to this Collab. You can find the link in the description of the video. Next, you need to have a Google account because we need to connect this Collab to our Google Drive. This is necessary because when the model is ready, we will find it in our Google Drive and download it. There's nothing too complicated about this Collab. You connect here with your Google account, and then you have all of these separate cells. Now, these cells are just sections of code that will run when you execute them. So we're going to start with the first one, and then I'm going to explain to you what to do one at a time. So the first one over here is basically just to mount or to connect our Google account or Google Drive to this Collab. So we're simply click on display and we're going to allow it, and now it will take some time to think and it will connect to our Google Drive. So now we are going to allow it and we're going to select the drive that we want. So I'm going to use my own. Now we can see that it's done. We can see this green check mark over here, and it also says completed at the bottom. Now we have the second one, and this one is just to download all the dependencies that it needs. Of course, it's not going to download it to your computer. It's going to download it to this Collab, so we can click on run, and this will take some time. Now that this cell is done, we can continue with the next one. And over here, we simply need to specify what model do we want to put as a base for our new model, because our model will recognize our face, but it still needs to be built upon a different existing model. So without going into anything specific, I just advise you to use the basic Stable Diffusion 1.5 model. So you can simply copy this part over here, and this is just the path from the Hugging Face website. So you're going to copy this and you're going to paste it over here. Now make sure that you don't have any spaces before and that it's formatted the same way. And then you're going to be able to use this model as the base for your model. Now you can experiment with this. You can use different models to build your own model, and then you can link them over here. But for this first time, we're going to use the basic 1.5. Now, when you place this over here, you're going to run it. Okay, so this is done as well. We can close this and we can go to the next one. So over here, we actually create our session. So it should be something unique. It should not be something that already exists. For example, I'm going to create a model that recognizes my face, but I'm not going to use Mike because Mike can be any Mike and it's not specific. And if I'm going to use Mike, it's going to get confused with other Mikes out there. For example, famous celebrities, Mike Tyson. So we do want the name of the session of this model to be unique. So I'm going to do something like MISCH. So the first two letters of my first name and the first three letters of my last name. So that's something unique. It's not a real word. So Stable Diffusion is not going to get confused. Now, it's not only the name of the session and it's not only the name of the model, but it's also the keyword that I'm going to use inside the prompt. Now we're not going to touch anything else, and we can create this session. So it was very fast, the session was created. Now we go to the next cell. So the images are your images that you're going to provide to this Dreambooth, and it will use these images to train this model, okay? So it wants us to have a very specific format. So all your images have to be with this same format. So let's go to our folder. I have this folder of images and I'm going to use 28 images, and I think that it's enough. Of course, you can use more, you can use less, but with 28 images, I got good results. So now we need to give all of these images a name and then the number. So you don't have to go over each one of them and change the name. You can simply select all of them and then rename. And we're going to give it the same name as our model. So MISCH. And then we simply press enter. And it will rename all of them, and it will also give all of them numbers, okay? So that's something you need to do. The other thing that you need to do is change the resolution of all of your images to be 512 on 512. Now you can do it manually. You can just go inside the image and crop it, or you can send it to some kind of website that will crop all of your images, and I'm going to provide a link for such a website. But this Collab actually does it for you if you want to. You have an option over here, but I don't advise you to use this because maybe you're going to have an image with your face on the side of the image and then it's just going to crop and you're going to get half a face. So I don't think that this is the best option. I think that if you have 30 images, it's best just to do it manually because then you can center your face in the middle. Another thing that I want to mention is that your images should be different. It means that they should have different backgrounds, they should have different clothes. Don't use 30 images with you wearing a black shirt because Stable Diffusion will think this shirt is a part of your face. Some images should be zoomed in, other images should be like half a body, and other images should be your full body. Now, even if you don't want to create images of yourself with a full body, you should still provide images with your full body because Stable Diffusion needs to know how your head and how your face looks from a distance. Stable Diffusion is not smart enough to just take this face and then create an image of you from a distance. It needs to actually have an image of you from a distance with a small face, okay? So my advice is to have more than just 3 images of your full body. So back inside the Collab, we want to focus on this instance images cell. And over here, we're going to provide all of these images. We're going to upload them. But in order to upload them, we first need to run this cell. Now, as I told you, we have an option for this Collab to crop our images, but we don't want to do this because we do it manually. So we're going to untick this. And then we're going to run this cell. Now that the cell is running, we can see that we have an option to choose the files. So we're going to click on this. We're going to select all of these images and we're going to upload them. So the images were uploaded. We can see it over here. And now we're going to continue to the next cell, which is captions. So captions are just descriptions of what is inside the image. So we're going to click on this. And now we need to provide a caption for every single image. So we're going to click on the first image and we need to describe what do we see inside this image. And this will simply help Dreambooth to understand what is inside this image. So for this image, I'm going to do something like a man with a blue shirt looking at the camera with a white wall in the background. So very minimal, but you do want to describe what is in this image. Now, the reason I did not say a man with a beard is because in my case, the beard is a part of who I am. If you're going to have a subject that sometimes has a beard, other times doesn't have a beard, you should also specify that he has a beard in this image. But I don't want to create images of me without my beard because I don't remember the last time I was without the beard. So I'm not interested in pictures of me without a beard. That's why I'm not going to even specify that I have a beard over here, and I want Dreambooth to think that this beard is a part of my face. For example, if I had sunglasses, then I would say a man with sunglasses and a blue shirt, because the sunglasses are not part of my face. Another example is that if you have an eye patch, and you're always going to have an eye patch, so you want to ignore the eye patch. You just want to say a man with a shirt, and you want Dreambooth to think that this eye patch is a part of your face. So now I'm just going to provide it with a description and click on save. And you can see that we already ran this cell, right? So every time we're going to save, it will simply take this information and add it into the script. So we're going to do this with all the other images. So the next one is pretty similar. So I can just use the same prompt from before. And if the other image is the same, then I'm going to use the same prompt. When you're done with all of these images, you're going to continue to the next cell because this is already done. You don't need to press on this again. Now we're going to ignore this cell because this is something that is more related to when you want to train a style and not a person. So we're not going to even run this cell. The next cell is actually the last cell, and it's the training cell. So over here, we're going to train the model. Now, I advise you to not touch these settings. You can use these default settings and you're going to get a good result. If in the future you want to mess around, you want to increase the steps, you want to increase the learning rate, you can do it. But if you're a beginner and you don't want to mess with this too much, just leave these settings as they are, okay? With this cell, you simply run it. Now, before we run this cell that will actually train our model, I just want to mention that if you get your model and the results with this model are not good, you can always retrain it, okay? So you can simply go over here. You can provide the same name that you used for the last session. And instead of creating the session, it will load this session. It will look for this name. And then all of these inputs will be the ones from your model. And then you can just go over here, increase the steps, and train it even further, okay? So maybe if the first 1,000 steps were not good, you can just increase it to 2,000 and it will take you a bit longer, but your model is going to be producing better images, okay? But for me, 1,000 is enough, and I never retrained my models because I got good results with 1,000 steps on my first try. But it really depends. Maybe you're going to have a very complicated face, maybe you're going to have complicated images, so maybe 1,000 will not be enough for you. But start with 1,000, test your model, and if it's not enough, just load it back again and train it further. And when you're training it the second time, just click on resume training, okay? But if it's your first time, you're not going to touch anything inside this cell. Now, for these 28 images, it usually takes me about 20 minutes. And remember, you're not running this on your computer. You can see over here at the top, this is the RAM and the disk of the computer that will run this Collab. So it's not your computer. It's some kind of remote computer that runs all of this code. So If you're using 30 images, it will be about 20 minutes because it was the same for me. Of course, you can use 50 images, you can use 100 images, and it will take a bit longer, but then you're going to get a better result, and maybe 30 images will be enough. And of course, I'm going to show you a few examples with this model that was trained using only 28 images. So when you are ready, when you have enough time, just click over here and it's going to start training your model. Now, when it's done, you're going to find the model inside your Google Drive. Now, we do have a few more cells over here, but we don't care about them because this is just to test your model, but you can test it in your own workspace anyway, so there is no need to run this cell. And we are not interested in uploading this to Hugging Face. You can also do it manually from the website itself. So after it's done training, you should wait about 5 minutes because you will still not see it in your drive, okay? It takes about 5 minutes to copy the model into your drive, and then you go to your Google Drive and you're going to find a folder named Fast Dreambooth, and inside you're going to have a sessions folder, and inside you're going to see your different models. So that's a model that I created in the past, and this is the model we created together. So inside you're going to find the model. These are not the models, these are just the images that I used, but you're going to find the model over here and you're going to recognize it. It's going to have a CKPT ending and it's going to be about 2 gigabytes, okay? So now all you need to do is download the file to your computer and copy it into your Stable Diffusion folder. So you're going to bring it inside your Stable Diffusion folder and you're going to place it inside the models folder and inside the Stable Diffusion subfolder. So this is usually where you have all your models. So you're simply going to paste it over here. Now you can see that I already have a Dreambooth model over here. It has this CKPT extension and it's just something that I created in the past, but I use the same images. So we're going to see the same results with these 28 images that I showed you. Okay, so now that this model is over here, we're going to run Automatic 1111 and I'm going to show you a few examples on how to actually use this model. So inside the Automatic 1111 web UI, you should simply go to this drop-down menu and you're going to select this new model that you created. So you're going to see it over here. I'm going to use this Dreambooth model that I created in the past, but it was exactly with the same images and it was using the same Collab. So I'm going to use this, and now that it's loaded, I can actually start using it. So the way we're using this model is by using the keyword, and the keyword is the name of the session, right? Okay, so we're going to take this and we're going to use it over here as a keyword. Of course, this is a previous model, so I have a different keyword, but just understand how you're using it. Although you're using the model to create the entire image, you still need a keyword to reference your face into the picture, okay? So for example, we want a drawing of blank as a NBA player, okay? So this blank is where you place the name of your model, the name of your session. So with this model, the keyword was Mike Schweder, which is my first and last name. So you're going to place the keyword over here. Now you still need to add some styles. You still need to add negative prompts. Okay, so I have these negative prompts. I have some modifiers to make it look a bit better, but this is the main prompt and this is the keyword, the name of my session, of my model. And let's see the results that we get. So we got our results, and I have to say that these images are nice, especially this one. You can see that I look exactly the same. And this one is also nice. This one, it looks like my head, it looks like my beard and my hair. The eyes are a bit weird. And I have this one, but you can see that the results are quite nice. Now, if you don't know how I look, then you can see that it's basically the same person. And I think over here I look even better because this is a drawing and the lighting is better and the colors, right? So this is better than reality. Now, it's not always going to be perfect. You can see that I got some kind of strange image, but you can still play around with it. Of course, you can send this to the InPaint and then just paint over my face and say a drawing of Mike Shvedov without all of this, and it will probably fix my face. Okay, so you still need to fine tune it, but you can also get amazing images on your first try. Now we can spend hours on creating different images of myself, but this is basically it. This is the way you train Stable Diffusion to recognize your face and then use it to create different art with your face in it. Of course, you can use it for family members or for friends. Just don't use it on strangers because then it's just going to be weird. But it's a really nice feature. So that's all for this video. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe if you're still not subscribed. In the future, I'm going to have more videos about Stable Diffusion, more tips, more tricks, more functionalities. So you really don't want to miss them out. And also you can leave a like on this video. It will help promote this video so more people will learn about this. And also, if you have any questions, if something is not working, please let me know in the comment section. So again, thank you for watching and see you next time.